Hey guys, pre-game show, 4 games on a Thursday afternoon, perhaps?
Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
Hello to everybody. We just got news of some starting lineups, so I'll flick that screen right across now. Mavericks are starting. Doncic, Dinwiddie, Bullock, Finney-Smith, McGee, same starters. And the Nets, same as well. Irving, O'Neal, Durant, Simmons, and Claxton. Joe Harris is out. Seth Curry is out. Ben Simmons is obviously playing, even though he had a little bit of a back flare-up yesterday, so he is in. What other news have we had since I last spoke to you guys? I don't know. It's good to have you here. Rudy Gay is out tomorrow. He's got COVID. Simone Fontecchio, similarly. Hopefully they don't feel as shit as I do. And everything is going okay. Does Josh have many Australian fans? I don't know if I've got any fans at all. Do I have Australian people who watch the show? Yeah, I do. I don't know. It's pretty big. It's probably the second largest audience. I think Canada and Australia are equal for the second largest audience of people who watch the show. Well, there you go. Here you go. Malik Edwards says if he ever sees me in a bar in Melbourne, he's going to buy me 1,000 pints. You probably won't see me in many bars, to be honest. I'm not a big bar hopping guy. Restaurant, maybe. You can buy me a beer if you see me. Am I not allowed to use FB Ninja because of collab with? Why would I use a site that is not the site that I work for? I honestly have no idea. Why would I do that? Why is Bogdanovic out? Knee injury. It's Bogdan. It's the Hawks guy, not the Pistons guy. Knee injury. He had a knee surgery in the off season. We can see those. We're going to do dribble game today. We'll get onto that really soon. Where's Michael Bolton? Michael Bolton doesn't do the live stream intros because I don't do the same intro songs. It's a little bit of a different format. A little bit more relaxed on the intro. I know people want me to start cracking out beers. It's 10 a.m. Maybe one day I'll do a 10 a.m. beer. We'll see. Is it crazy to believe Santi Aldama will get 26 plus minutes when Jaren Jackson returns? Yeah, I think it is crazy. Look, initially when Jaren returns and ramps his way back in, yeah, I think 22, 23 for Aldama is maybe possible. 26 plus is hard. Matty Smith, I am not answering that question. Do I plan to watch any NBA games in person this season? No, I will work from here. Absolutely no point in me heading over to watch. Again, remember, there's multiple NBA games on at once. If I go to watch a game in person, that means I can't watch what's happening in the other games, and then I'd have to travel to get home to record and do recaps. There's just no way I'm going to be doing traveling over for any regular season games. Have I had any update on Lillard from my insider? No, I haven't, but I will be hitting him up. Or her up, depending on who it is. Do I watch hockey? I don't really have much time for creatives. I wish I could watch more, but obviously it overlaps NBA season. I'm a Flyers fan, and that hasn't been too good lately. Is Cole Anthony a hold in 10-team league? Absolutely not. I can't see how he would be. All right, someone asked for assists streams and for steals streams today. So let's go and have a look and see who might be available, who can help you in those two categories. All right, let's do assists first. Some stream options there. Tyus Jones probably looking the best one. Davion Mitchell, Reggie Jackson perhaps. Kevon Looney can get you some assists. And Gabe Vincent. Malik Monk also not a bad guy there. Steals streams for today. Caleb Martin's absolutely the top one there. Trey Mann can help both assists and steals if he's available. Finney-Smith or Dort maybe for steals. Tyus Jones for steals. Josh Green for steals. Tim Hardaway. Another option there as well. What else? Any other news come through? Nope. All right, let's go do dribble game, I think. Let's see how we can do with that one today. Flick that over. All right, let's go refresh that screen. What have we got today on dribble? Joel Embiid and Vince Carter. Ooh. PJ Tucker ever play with Vince? No, didn't play in Toronto, obviously. Phoenix, PJ Tucker? Maybe no. All right, so PJ Tucker for Vince Carter. Who was a long-time Suns guy that might have Tyson Chandler? No? Okay. Tyson Chandler in Dallas. Vince Carter in Dallas. Dirk. All right, cool. Got it. Would have been Joel Embiid, JJ Redick, Vince Carter. All right, there's an easier path. But it's all right. We got there in the end. Is it a Clay night? I see him in the thumbnail. Well, I don't know. The Warriors are playing. So I don't expect huge things from him, to be honest. I'm not massively into him. Are you starting Tom Brady tonight? I don't have Tom Brady on my one fantasy football team that I have, so I don't know. What's up with Norman Powell? Shots just aren't going in, mate. And then I worry about the minutes upside for him if they're ever healthy. I think he's fine to hold as a back-end guy. Will Powell get the usage? Well, he'll get the minutes because he'll replace Kawhi. Usage with Paul George back will be a little bit squished, but I think that hasn't really been his problem. The shots just haven't gone in. Lesserson says, Wiseman season rank plus minus 100. Outside of top 100 easily. I have no issue with... Where is James Wiseman now? Fantasy rank. Let's have a look. 189th. Yeah. All right. I'll stick with outside the top 100 for him this season. Why isn't Kessler getting minutes anymore? He's Jared Vanderbilt's backup for a start. Secondly, the Rockets went really small yesterday, so there was no real place for him with no center out there. He's Kessler's backup. He's Vanderbilt's backup. That's why. There has been no news on LaMelo Ball's return yet. Zubac's 30 plus again tonight, surely? Maybe. Paul George return does perhaps change that. But I'm finding it really hard to project what Zubac's minutes are. They're all over the place. But with Morris out and Kawhi out, I think it does help Zubac's cause to get a few extra minutes. I don't know what I have him projected at for today. Got him at 28. Yeah, so not far off 30. Clay is cooked. I'm not about cooked, but yeah, look, he's not the same, is he? I think that's pretty obvious. How much do you think Portland will limit Dame when he returns? Not much. Like a little bit early on, but no, it won't be much. Pineapple on pizza? Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't like pineapple on pizza, I don't actually care. And you shouldn't tell anyone else they shouldn't eat pineapple on pizza. How long do you hold Hartenstein? Look, it really depends, Galen, who's out there on your waiver wire. But like at the moment, the minutes are frustrating. It's an exercise in patience. But as I've said a million times with Thomas Thibodeau, even if Robinson sucks, he might suck for 6 months, and then the change would come in Game 5 of Round 1 of the playoffs. Like, he's not a man that's going to make changes really all that quickly, especially when Robinson's having some good games mixed in here. So Hartenstein in 21 minutes can still be useful enough for 12-team leagues, but the upside is a little bit capped with Robinson around. But Robinson gets hurt quite a bit, gets into foul trouble quite a bit, so I would be holding Isaiah, but... How many minutes is GP3 going to... I assume you mean GP2 going to get when he's fully healthy. I would expect 20, 21. Yeah, 20, 21 would be my guess. Can LaMelo come back this week? Yes. Will he come back? Probably not. Start Herder today? Well, I don't know who your other options are, Storms, but with only 4 games on, if you've got him on your team, why wouldn't you? Unless this is some sort of format which you have not specified. Why is Zubac's minutes fluctuating so much? It just depends on the matchups and other players they've got available. They do like to go small quite a bit, and it just depends on what they're looking for out there. So, and it's with a team that deep, with 12 to 13 rotation players, Lou is going to be able to do that quite a bit. Will Suggs rank inside the top 100? I think he's going to be borderline, James. The absence of Cole Anthony might help him, but I think he's borderline top 100. Will Conley rank inside top 75 in category leagues? I just made some adjustments on the Jazz projections for the season. Let me have a look. I don't know where Conley sits. I'm pretty sure he's not top. Nah, I don't have him top 75. Who are some of the best real-life perimeter defenders? Anunoby, Bridges, turning out. I reckon Sohan's going to get there pretty quickly. Anunoby and Bridges have been my 2 go-to guys for perimeter defenders at this point. I think they are absolutely in their prime as perimeter defenders, and it's hard. Like, I'm sure that there is definitely someone that I'm missing, But they're the two that I look at and go, yeah, you are the two absolute best perimeter defenders. And I don't think it's massively close behind whoever's third in that group. I'd like to know other people's opinions though. Like, who do you think are the best perimeter defenders in the NBA? Are people overvaluing Olynyk? Not really. I haven't heard one person overvalue Olynyk at all. You feel like he'll be in the 100 rank range? Yeah, he'll be like in 80 to 110. But I haven't really heard anyone saying he's going to be much higher than that, to be honest. What are my thoughts on Outback Steakhouse? I went there once, and it's not, for start off, it's not an Australian restaurant. I actually saw my first one ever in Australia in the highly tourist area of the Gold Coast a few weeks back. But I've never been to one in Australia. It doesn't exist at all in my home city or state. I went to once in America, and it was just like bland. It was nothing interesting at all. What's my favorite fruit? It's not mango. Mango has to be actually like perfect, right on this right area of ripeness. Otherwise, I don't like it. I'm a banana man. Bananas are apples. I know they're basic fruits. They're probably, if I want to go exotic fruits, star fruit or dragon fruit are probably my next ones after that. Aaron Estes has a strategy question. What are my thoughts on using ads for streams early in a week or saving them to try and fill gaps, close categories, end of the week? There's obviously a balance involved in that. But most of the time, adding a stream at the start of the week doesn't mean that you can use them every game throughout the week. I think you need to have at least 1 to 2 left for the weekend to really see what categories you need to hit. So that's what I would try and make sure I've got at least 1 to 2 ads for the end of the week. Am I liking Dennis Smith over Dinwiddie for 9-cat? Now, yes. In a week's time, no. Like, once Rozier and Ball are back, Smith will barely play, if at all. So, a guy getting 12 minutes versus a guy playing 33, I'll take the 33-minute guy. For now, it's very clearly Dennis Smith, while Rozier and Ball are out. Any news on Garland return? All we know is that Garland's not playing tomorrow, but he should be back. I would expect on the weekend. Can you zoom on the screen? What's wrong with the screen? You don't like how it looks? All right, let's see. Does that help you? Did that make it bigger? There you go. Is that helping? House of the Dragon versus Game of Thrones Season 1. Which did you prefer? It's been so long since I've seen Game of Thrones Season 1. I did a rewatch about 5 years ago of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I really liked House of the Dragon, though. I don't know. Do I need to prefer one? You don't think Smith has earned a large... Who's Smith? Dennis Smith? Yeah, but okay. He's played really well. Is he going to play ahead of LaMelo Ball? No. Is he going to play ahead of Terry Rozier? No. Is he going to play ahead of Cody Martin? No. Kelly Oubre? No. James Bouknight? Probably, but that's like 14 minutes. 15 minutes. Is he going to play ahead of PJ Washington? No. Is he going to play ahead of Gordon Hayward? No. Jalen McDaniels? No. He's been really good. And he will be their backup third guard. That's probably 15 minutes though. And it's not enough to matter for most leagues. And I could be 100% wrong on that. Maybe they say, hey, Rozier, Ball, Smith, you're all playing 30 minutes. Or the other two 30 plus. And we'll go 3-guard lineup. I don't think so though. He's been awesome though. There's no doubt about it. If Rob Williams a hold if you don't have IR, no, you're just burning a roster spot for probably months. I don't think that's worth it. And then when he comes back, he'll be limited. Is Wall a hold? I don't really think so. What's he doing? 24 minutes a night, sub outside the top 200 in fantasy. Too many players in that roster. I don't think so. Shaden Sharp must add in 14 teams, 9-cat. I've said this a few times and I'll say it again. The Blazers play Friday with 11 games on. They play next Wednesday, which is a high volume day. They play next Friday, which is a high volume day. They play next Saturday, which is a semi-high volume day. Over the next week, it's over the next 2 weeks, they play 2 quality games. So that means they have 2 games out of their next 7, which are on a day with fewer than 10 games. So even if you added Shaden Sharp, you literally might play him 2 games over 2 weeks. And is that worth it? I'll suggest no. That is a horrendously bad schedule from a fantasy perspective. Only 7 games in 2 weeks, and only 2 of those games on days with 9 or fewer games. That's pretty bad. What would I do as dictator god of the NBA to prevent teams from intentionally tanking? Okay, this is a good question that I don't actually have a well-thought answer for at the moment. But what I think I would do is I would make the lottery for all 14 picks. So none of this, yes, I like the flattened odds, right? But none of this like, well, if you don't fall into the top 4, you end up 5th. So there's still an advantage to being first or second. It's just like every single spot gets lotteryized, randomized, not like only the top 4. And that introduces, you still got that higher percentage chance of finishing higher, but it doesn't mean that, well, there's advantage, me finishing first with the worst record or third worst record means I can only finish 5th versus 7th. None of that applies. That might be my initial thing. I don't really believe in the, well, once you've eliminated from playoff contention, then the amount of games that you win, whoever wins the most out of those games then becomes the number 1 pick. I don't really think that's the answer. But I think that just you've already eliminated some of the upside tanking risk by flattening the odds, but you haven't eliminated that downside advantage. And I think that's probably where you need to go. Is Lowry a sell high? No one's going to give you value for what he's doing, and I don't think what he's doing is particularly unsustainable, considering he's shooting 24% from 3, so that can actually come up. So, no, I don't think so. Moody or Bullock for a stream tonight? Look, just in general, give me the minutes. Give me the guy who's going to play 30 plus. Moody might get 18. In general. That's how I'd want to look at that. Let's see. Any other news coming through yet? No. Still going it out here as I die from coughing. Am I getting a pair of the lost and found Jordan 1s? I haven't got a pair of Jordan 1s in a long time. Like, they're totally okay, but I'm not going to prioritize them, really. I think they're okay. Do I think Benny Mathurin is a hold? Yes, absolutely. Please hold him. What's the ingredients in a traditional Aussie meat pie? Well, basically it's like minced meat, or you can get like little chunks of beef, slow cooked, and gravy in like a pastry base. That's really all it is. What do you do with Clay? You hold for now, but don't be adverse to dropping him soon. But you hold for now. Is Paolo a sell high, or can you keep this? I think he's a sell high because I think there's going to be a worry with his free throws potentially dropping, and I think the block rate will probably come down somewhat as well. But I think mostly you just hold him. Here's a good question. Janikian? Sorry. With sports leagues partnering up with betting sites and consistently referring to them during halftimes and pregame shows, what rules would you change in regards to lineup announcements, injury reports? Well, lineups need to be announced well in advance. This 30-minute beforehand nonsense is nonsense. Simple as that. You have a lineup, a starting lineup, and an active. What I would actually love to do. Looks like Alperen Şengün is ready to return tomorrow, so that's good. So I'm just going to mark him as probable. What I would do, and I know people aren't going to agree with this, you have your 15, 17 guys on a roster. You have the 13 active slots every day, but let's be honest, why do we need 13 players active every game? 5 are on the court at a time. Why do we need 2.5 times or 1.5 times the starters sitting on the bench? Like, I don't understand. Like, and I think these, because you got to have these 13 guys here, so these guys sit around and they don't play when they could be going and getting G League minutes, or expand a G League schedule, bring it out. Why do we need 13 active players every game? Why can't it just be 11? Here's my 11 guys that I'm naming for today. That's it. I don't, here's my lineup, here's my 11 guys. So we understand. And then you wouldn't have that situation where someone who's iffy and questionable, we can mark them. Look, they're actually active, but then they don't play. We don't know about that because they didn't officially rule them out, but they were there and we didn't know if they, all that. We don't need that. Make it tighter. Here's your 11 games, 11 players, and they're the ones who can play today. Why do we need 8 players available off the bench when there's only 5 who can be on a court at once? I know someone's going to tell me that's not right, but look at soccer, right? 11 guys on the field. What do you have? Like, you have 7, some leagues 7, some leagues 5 bench players. Australian football, you have 18 on the field, you have 4 bench players. Why do we need such? And I know it is a big thing in American sports. Hockey, 5 on the ice, 20 active players or 18 active players. American football, 11 on the field at once, 50 active players. And I know there's specialities in that, but still, you've got 22 offense and defense, then you've got another, like a whole second team basically for every position available. When a lot of other sports around the world don't have that flexibility. So yeah. What do you guys think about that? I think lineups need to be announced way earlier, and there needs to be penalties for breaking those announcements. But I also think that there's really no need for us to be, having so many guys available on a bench. That'll force teams to have to actually make decisions about who's in, who's out, and inform us. I haven't checked the chat to see what people respond to that, but I'd like to know. Nando's or Red Rooster? Nando's. Red Rooster's not bad though, but yeah, Nando's. Kevin Porter is probable for tomorrow. Yep, that's great. Is Al Horford must roster? Yes. How many times a week do you find a huge spider in your house in Australia? 0. Never. You guys have the weirdest idea of what happens in Australia. It's so funny. What else have I got? Can you say the odds I like for today? Let's have a look. Dallas 2.5. No strong feeling there. Clippers 7.5. I like Clippers minus 7.5. Warriors by 6. I like Warriors minus 6. And then Grizzlies 2.5. Yeah, I like Grizzlies minus 2.5 there. The Dallas Brooklyn one, I don't really like it either way. Does Turner affect you? I answered this earlier today. Not really, hooligan. Maybe there's smaller block opportunities, but they play literally completely different positions. We saw yesterday, Jalen Smith played 29 minutes as the power forward. Turner will never play at that position. And Smith, with Turner back, will never play at center. And he shouldn't play at center. They've got 3 other centers. So I don't think there's much of an impact. And look, Gian Santos asked the same question as well. Hockey does play all players that are active except 1 to 3 guys. Yeah, I know that. I know they do. But so does basketball. So does football. All these guys play. But what I'm saying is, do you have to? Why do we have? Again, I know this is going to apply to the Australians out here or any international people who play cricket or whatever. Imagine we go out to play footy. There's 18 guys on the field, and we have another 20 players on the bench. That's the equivalent. There's 25 guys on the bench, 18 on the field. Why? Why do we need that? Why do you need to have 2 times, 3 times the backups on the bench? I know it's just a common sense, not common sense. It's just a thing that happens in all American sport. I'm playing baseball. I've got 1 pitcher. I've got 7 others out there ready to go. Then I think this needs to be tighter decision making in naming lineups. And then those guys, you can send them down and block those players who sit there and get here's my garbage time 1 minute of action. When I could have played 20 minutes in the G League. 50 minutes in the G League. Do I think Sabonis will get his full minutes this game? Why do you think he's entitled to full minutes? He's a terrible defender. That's why I hated this trade. He's also a weird offensive fit. So if they're struggling defensively and other players are doing more, there's no need for him to get those minutes. Do I think he'll get more than 22? Yeah, I do. Does it mean 34 then? Not necessarily, because, again, his defense is so bad, he puts everyone else in weird positions. And offensively, he can't shoot. He needs sort of the ball to distribute. Maybe that doesn't fit either. It's why it was a disgustingly bad trade. Will we see shot-chucking Jeremy Grant while Dame is out? Probably, yeah. All right. It's my favourite city in Australia other than Melbourne. Okay. So I haven't been to every city in Australia. I've never been to Tasmania. I've never been to Western Australia. I don't particularly like Adelaide. Sydney's pretty good. I haven't been to Brisbane for a long team. For a long time, actually. I like North Queensland, like Port Douglas. Probably my favourite place to go. I think there's a higher risk of injury in hockey and American football because they're contact sports. Yeah, but basketball's not. And so Australian football is more contact than those sports without padding. Yet we have 4 players on the bench, and those players run 12, 13 Ks a game, 8, 9 miles a game. So again, it's just a really common American sport thing to just have these crazy extended benches. No more news come through yet on anything. But I get it. It's just what you're used to. It's like when I say, man, fouls and free throws are so stupid in basketball. Oh, it's how the game has to be played. Yeah, but like when you sit back and look at it as a neutral and you go, like, is it really good that every 30 seconds we're stopping for someone to take a free throw? Like, not really. It's not exciting. I don't know what the answer is, but it's definitely something that when you look at the game, you go, I reckon something can be improved here. Hayden Simon says the issue in hockey, players can only play for 60 seconds at a time. Not true, Hayden. Eric Carlson had a 5-minute shift yesterday. I know that's a long time. And I agree with hockey, way more so than, say, football or basketball in terms of playing time, is that they can't really stay on the ice that much and they need that rest time to recover because of what it does to their body and the speed and all that sort of... I do understand that, yeah. But, yeah, Carlson played a 5-minute shift yesterday. You need at least 10 to play 5-in-5 in practice. What does that have to do with anything? I know you need at least 10, but what is that in a game? You're playing 5 people on a court. So what does that matter? What's the best Australian thing to eat that's accessible in the States? I don't really know. I know you can get Tim Tams in places, and you absolutely should get Tim Tams if you can. Otherwise, Australian food, what is there that's good? I don't even know. The food here is great. Like, restaurant food is great. Our restaurants are amazing. Right? You can get good food anywhere. But is any of it Australian? Not really. Hayden says, if Major League Baseball teams can release their batting orders 3 to 4 hours before game time, yes, exactly. There is these coaches, I'm still deciding, this guy's a game time decision. Make a call. Make them make a call early, especially with all of the money coming through betting. And if you're going to partner with them, and I'm not saying whether they should or shouldn't partner with betting sites, but if you're going to do it, this half an hour before is garbage. It's ludicrous. You can get Tim Tams in Toronto, so get them. They're great, aren't they? Have you had them? I hope so. Tim Tam Slam, not interested. No way. No, just the Tim Tam on its own, mate. I don't need to do anything more than that. NRL has a locked-in 19-man lineup 24 hours before kickoff. They should do that. Yeah, AFL has it as well. AFL, this is how crazy AFL is in terms of lineups. The games, say a game's on Saturday, on Thursday night, you have to submit your lineup. And yes, you can make some changes, but like, here is your 22 players, 18 starters, 4 bench, and then you have 3 separate emergency guys, and you can make a change with that up to, I think, like it's 2 hours before the game, you can make a late change. But that's it. That's the lineup. Like, it's done 2 days in advance. Sausage rolls or meat pies? All right, ED, this is a good question. If it's just a plain meat pie, a 4 and 20, a mass market pie, give me a sausage roll every day. Sausage rolls are really consistent. I think a base sausage roll is better than a base pie. You can get elite level sausage rolls, but I think when you get to an elite level pie, from an elite level pie shop, there's a place, Ben took us this place when we were coming home from the snow. I can't remember what it was called. Elite Pies. All right, an elite pie is better than an elite sausage roll. Good question. That means nothing to do with fantasy, but that's fine. We're just here talking. We're just here chatting it up. What are the odds of me starting a fantasy disc golf channel? It's pretty high. It's pretty high, knowing nothing about it at all. Which NBA player turned analyst do you think actually does a good job analyzing? I like JJ Redick. I like Kendrick Perkins. I can't even say it. I think JJ Redick does a really good job. I think Richard Jefferson gets a little bit too much hate. I think he's not bad. If I can only have one Australian cuisine for the rest of your life, there is no... What is Australian cuisine? There's nothing. If I had to choose Australian cuisine for the rest of my life, I'd die. Like, it doesn't exist, man. All right. Let's have a look. Have I been watching the T20 World Cup? I haven't, actually. I watched like one game, and I haven't watched any others. I don't know why. Just international T20, I just can't... I find it so hard to get behind. Yeah, I find it... Yeah, I don't know. Do fusion meat pies exist? Like with bulgogi or something? They do... They probably haven't got... Oh, I'll tell you what the closest one of those is that you can get pretty common, like a Thai chicken green curry pie. That's pretty good. Bulgogi pie sounds pretty good. Why doesn't Eason get minutes? Okay, he's a rookie. They've got Tate, Martin, Gordon all ahead. Silas prioritizes veterans. Simple as that. And that guys. Actually, we just got some news come through. Dyson Daniels, questionable tomorrow. Jose Alvarado, questionable tomorrow. Josh Primo, out tomorrow. Devin Vassell, out tomorrow. CJ McCollum, questionable. Jesus Christ. So a lot of stuff just came through. Vassell and Primo, the big one. So Josh Richardson, the stream lives on. But guys, that is going to do it for me here today. Speaking of streams on this live stream for the pregame, I hope you guys enjoy the action in today's games. I'll see you for the recap show.